Hello everyone, today we'll be watching Empress of Ireland, Recreating the Disasters, Episode 7. Let's watch.
All of a sudden, the Storstad sees the Empress of Ireland, and it's too late.
Whoa. Sorry about that bang. I
Hey
nearly
guys,
fell.
welcome back to another video, and
So, face first onto the
Today we're focusing on the Empress of Ireland. So yeah, guys,
in my
let's get
room.
into the video. So yeah, here we are with the Empress of Ireland, and
There's Stitch going on the door.
Talk about it. So, Jake,
Oh,
Yeah, so the Empress of Ireland was a Scottish-built ocean liner that began construction on April 10th in 1905 next to her sister ship that was known as the Empress of Britain, which was also being built. She was launched on January 27th in 1906, and after she was finished, she was handed to the Canadian Pacific Steamships Line. The ship
sorry
entered
for
the
the
market for the
background
transatlantic
noise.
travel between the United Kingdom and Canada, and for the Empress of Ireland's last voyage, it consisted of her departing from Quebec City for Liverpool at 4:30 local time on May 28th, 1914, and the captain actually wanted to get the ship to Liverpool in a timely manner.
So yeah, that brings us up to where we are now, and we're just waiting for the time to leave. Right now it's a little too early, but we're actually sitting in New York Harbor. Now in reality the ship is sitting in Quebec City, but since the game doesn't have that, we're using New York City as a sort of replacement. So yeah. So at this point the ship was actually loaded with around 1,477 passengers and crew, which was only 2/3 full. So the ship was not really that packed. Now the sun is beginning to set, so we're going to be setting sail very soon. We'll turn on our lights, but we're going to wait just a little bit longer so we get a more accurate timing. Now obviously if the weather changes, we really don't have much control over that, so I do apologize if that kind of ruins the recreation for you. Just trying our best to make sure that we recreate the time in this. Alright, so we are now about to set sail, so here we go. We're firing up the engines. We're not going to go at full speed. We're just going to go at like half speed here or slow so that we can sort of recreate the ship's real speed in real life. So here we go. So yeah, you wouldn't be going full speed right out of port, so as you can see we're kind of going a little bit slower, but it does make it a little more realistic. But now we are leaving, well, Quebec City, or well, New York City. We'll just say Quebec City, because that's where we're truly leaving in real life. So yeah. Now, as the Empress of Ireland is making its way through the St. Lawrence River out towards the Atlantic Ocean, it needs to make a slight course adjustment. The captain turns to the right and notices another ship. That is the Storstad. The Storstad sees the Empress of Ireland and realizes that they're going to go starboard to starboard. That means they're going to pass each other on the starboard side. However, what happens is, once the captain is making this turn, he turns a little too much and is now aiming towards the Storstad itself. Now, at this moment, a fog bank basically rolls in and blocks their view of each other. Now, this is important because the Storstad can no longer see the Empress and thinks that the Empress is going to crash into them or go to their port side. Now, in reality, the Empress has turned and is now moving to their starboard side again, which was the way that they were going to go all along. However, since the Storstad can't see this, they begin to turn so they can avoid either a collision or to go port to port. All of a sudden, the Storstad sees the Empress of Ireland, and it's too late. And boom, right into the side of the Empress of Ireland, and it tears a huge gash in the hull.
Which was pretty much the Atlantic.
Thousands of gallons of water to flood into the side of the ship, and it is a fatal wound. At this point, the captain orders full ahead, but it's not going to work because the boiler rooms and the engine room are flooding. So the ship just stays here and begins taking on massive amounts of water. So much water, in fact, that the ship immediately starts to list over to the starboard side, and it makes it almost impossible for people inside the ship to escape. You also have to remember it's the middle of the night, people are in their cabins sleeping, and they're awoken by this crash, and they only have minutes to escape before water inundates where they are. At this moment, water's already into the superstructure, and now the water is beginning to flood in through doorways, and not only just the damage. Most of the exits are actually on the superstructure level, so once those flood, there is no escape, at least an easy way out. At this point, the deck is so slanted, people are sliding down and trying to crawl over to the hull. It is really bad. At this point, the bridge is beginning to flood, the funnels have just collapsed. The ship took roughly 14 and a half minutes to sink, so not a lot of time at all to do much of anything. This is a really desperate situation right now, and it is incredibly sad what these people went through in this short amount of time.
And it's actually sad
outside the
because
ship, the waters are really
I
cold
live in Canada,
freezing, and it's going to make it
and this
very
ship was a
difficult to
Canadian
survive.
ship.
At this point, most of the
So
superstructure is gone,
Canada
and water
lost
is
one of their
rapidly
ships.
inundating the interior.
And there will
To
be
the point where if you're
another
still inside,
ship
you
a
would
couple
almost
years
die. It's
later.
not a matter of
The
if,
Empress of
it's a matter of
Britain.
when. And as you can see, there
And
it
then
goes.
a
Just
couple
the
years
superstructure
later,
remains.
the Edmund
Yep, there it is.
Fitzgerald.
And just gracefully slipping under.
Just
You can imagine the
ignore what I
panic.
said
As you
there.
can see, the Empress of Ireland
I was
is
talking to
sinking
myself.
to the bottom. We've got pieces falling off, and there it is, lying on the bottom. So, yeah, that was a really accurate sinking. And as you can see, wow, it's actually sliding for some reason. I think it's because the funnels are rolling and it's sliding on stuff. But, yeah. Now, you may be wondering, what happened to the Storstad? Well, it survived, and here is a photo of some of that damage to the bow. Really catastrophic. Now, unfortunately, 1,012 people did perish during the sinking, with it only having 14 and a half minutes to stay above water, and also the fact that it rolled over. It really wasn't going well for anybody that was still inside, or even on deck for that matter. Well, there it is. We have recreated the disaster of the Empress of Ireland.
Okay guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye bye. Bye.